Python also gives us the ability to nest in functions inside of other functions. So we're going to start with an example. We'll call this one, we're going to define a new function called incrementer. And we're going to pass in the value of n. And inside here, we're going to define another function. We'll call this one actually increment. And we will be taking a value of x. And then by default, we'll set n equal to n, which is the value passed in to the parent function. So from this, we will return x plus n. And so for the incrementer function, we will be returning the actually increment function. So the value of the function that we'll be returning will be a function in of itself. So we're going to define a new variable called add another. And set that to incrementer with the value of 1. So add another will be a function. So we can go ahead and verify this by printing the type. And as you can see, the value on the right, it returns us a class of function. We can also use add another by passing in a value. So if we add 2, so we initialize it with an incrementer of 1. So if we add, go ahead and add that. Let's go ahead and print that. And that's going to give us a value of 3. So what it allows us to do is we can change the default value of the incrementer. So let's say we want to just add even. Sorry, add even equals incrementer 2. So if we go ahead and print add even, that should give us a value of 4 because we've added 2 plus 2. Now there's also a simpler way to do what we just did. And that is called using a Lambda expression. So let's go ahead and create a new one, a new function. So we'll make this one a little bit different so we don't have two functions with the same name by preceding it with an underscore. But this will be very similar, and we will be defining incrementer taking in n as a value. So the way we can do this is return lambda. What this is doing is, so lambda is basically a closure or a anonymous function. An anonymous function is a function without a name. So this, similar to up here, is we're returning the actually increment function. This is returning function taking an x as a value and then adding x to n. So there is no, like in our nested function up here, we have a return x plus n. So this is just implied. So what it actually is implying is anonymous function return x plus n. However, lambda, there's no need to explicitly define a return value. So we can go ahead and remove this because that is just automatic. And let's go ahead and create a new item, add one. So we're going to call underscore incrementer. And then if we go ahead and print, what we had is so yeah, this is, we're doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. The same way we defined add another in of itself is a function. So it's basically the same thing right here. So what we have to do to get the actual value is pass something in. So if we pass in 2, we're going to get the same value as 3. So this is very equivalent to doing this. And we can do the same thing with add even. So instead of adding 1, we're going to be adding 2. And we get the value of 4, similar to the previous add even function that we did. Now in our last example, we had a capitalized function. Let's go ahead and bring that back in. So this was from the previous video. And it looks like it's not giving us the proper spacing. What we're going to do here is create another full name. Create some space there. So we're going to be taking an x and y value to create another full name. So we're going to capitalize. And then capitalize y. So x is obviously going to be the first name, y will be the last name. Then if we go ahead and print the type, And we have a quick error. We forgot the plus sign. And then, another full name returns us the value of a function. And so just similar to before, let's go ahead and use this function. Name equals another full name. And then we go ahead and print the name. And that gives us Frank Thomas. Both words are capitalized. So Lambda functions allow us to simplify other functions and just use a very short, concise syntax. We will be covering lambdas in a future video. It's also great for things like sorting lists and just has a bunch of really handy features. For now, this concludes our section on functions. Thank you for watching.